Hello, everybody, and welcome to Rod Kowalczyk Court on the campus of De Pere High School for Fox River Classic Conference Boys Basketball. I'm Will Soki, your play-by-play man for tonight, along with Mr. Cale Coleman. How are you doing?
Good. It's good to be here, making the season debut here on the call, stepping out from behind the computer, but excited about the night.
Definitely, it should be a very good game between two competitive FRCC teams. Your home team, the De Pere Redbirds, well, they're 11-2 on the season. They're averaging 71.5 points per game. Their last game was a 91-62 win, visiting Green Bay Southwest on Saturday. Sheboygan North is still in a relatively young phase of their season. They are only 2-2 on the season. They're averaging 57.8 points per game, and their last game was a 49-57 defeat in a home game versus Ashwaubenon. If you look at some of the impact players for each team, for the Redbirds, it's all about Johnny Kinzinger. The freshman is scoring 22 points per game, and he's made 31 three-point baskets. He's also averaging 4 assists per game, really making the offense run. And when the offense fails to put the ball in the basket, Jack Jorgensen comes in as the team's leading rebounder, averaging just about 6 a game. He also puts in 11 points. Sheboygan North's offense runs through the senior guard Iggy Karkara. The 5'9" player is scoring about 19 points per game. The second offensive weapon of choice is the senior forward Devin Shibley, who's scoring about 11 points per game. And one of the big things you notice about the Golden Raiders is that they have the ability to score, but in their losses, they just can't seem to get momentum going. In both of their losses this season against Manitowoc Lincoln and Ashwaubenon, Sheboygan North has been held under 50 points. So it will be very crucial for Sheboygan North to score points early and score points often if they want to remain competitive with a sharpshooting De Pere team.
Well, and a very talented De Pere team, but Sheboygan North, one of the schools that started a little bit late yet. So this is still early in the season for them, where De Pere has a handful of games under their belt, had a little bit more experience out there on the floor, getting adjusted to this year's team.
Absolutely, and when you look at Sheboygan North, they definitely are still early in the season, and as all the financials like to say, past performance is not indicative of future success. This game is wide open. No one expects this game to be a blowout. People I've talked to said that they expect both teams to compete pretty evenly here tonight, and that it should be a good conference game. Just really what you want in January to kind of gear up for the playoffs, as much as we don't want to start talking about that. That's a little under a month away. Well,
and these two teams have a lot of history, a lot of back and forth, very competitive games. Always tough to make that trip up or down Highway 43 in that hour-long drive and then come in here and play a game, especially tough in this COVID environment where you don't really have the time that you normally would to sit around during the JV game, stretch out, and it's kind of show up and play. So we'll see today if there's a home court advantage.
And with that, we will turn it over to De Pere Public Address announcer Dan Van Straten for the playing of our national anthem.
Good evening, basketball fans, and welcome to Rod Kowalczyk Court on the campus of De Pere High School. Tonight, it's WIAA Fox River Classic Conference basketball action as your De Pere Redbirds welcome the visiting Sheboygan North Golden Raiders. At this time, would you please stand if you are able? Remove your hats and place your hand over your heart. We ask that you remember those who have served and those who continue to serve, protecting the freedoms we enjoy each day as we join together and honor this great nation with the playing of our national anthem.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Nicolay Bank broadcast booth. Now to get to your Starry Realty starting lineups for tonight. Starting off with your visiting Sheboygan North team. They're led by fifth-year head coach Eric Worth. Assistant coaches include Andy Bonestrew and Robert Benninghaus. Their starters, at guard, a 6'1" junior, Luke Schmidt. At guard, 5'11" junior, Chase Schenenberger. At guard, the 5'11" senior, Chandler Fogel. At forward, the 6'2" senior, Devin Shibley. And at forward, the 6'1" sophomore, Max Tudis. Now for your home team, the De Pere Redbirds. Their head coach is Brian Winchester, assisted by Brian Babinski, Brian Pritzel, and Jeff Kinzinger. At guard, the sophomore number 1, John Kinzinger. At guard, the senior number 4, Will Dean. At guard, the junior number 10, Max Donaldson. At forward, the senior number 12, Maddox Shinners. And at guard, the junior number 33, Jack Jorgensen. Those are your Starry Realty starting lineups.
Well, we know that Sheboygan North's teams of past have really looked to push the ball up the floor and try and find threes through their motion offense. A lot of dribble drive, a lot of swings. They've been great at knocking down corner threes here for a handful of years. So to your point from the pregame, if they can get a couple to fall, and we know how soft the rims here are at the Pier.
They are.
They're going to be a tough test. So the ever-popular inbound, no jump ball, still hard to get used to.
Sheboygan North will set up with Schenenberger, the junior, taking ball handling duties. That motion offense trying to work the ball immediately inside to Shibley. Nothing there against Maddox Shinners. Chandler Fogel taking a look inside, working against Max Donaldson there. Little shot fake action. Lots of passes around the perimeter, as we mentioned, kind of a motion offense. Finally one in there to Shibley, and he'll score the first points of the game.
Nice patience there to get it inside and get a great look to start this thing off.
That's Will Dean in the post for De Pere, making quick work of that possession. Couple passes around the perimeter, and then the post just opened up.
It looked like Sheboygan North got away with stepping over the line there on the inbound. That was a weird sequence. I don't think the official quite picked it up.
3-point basket from Shibley is good. Sheboygan North coming out with a little bit of a press, not too much. So you don't want to get yourself into foul trouble early on. We saw the JV game go into the double bonus. Shinner shot fake inside, loses it, but then puts it in.
Back-to-back paint touches for the Redbirds. Certainly not what I expected to see here today.
No, you know, there was a point in the season where the Redbirds had more three-point buckets made than free throws made. And, you know, I get that you have to game plan to your opponent, but, you know, you also want to stay true to who you are as a team. And hopefully De Pere can start getting some of those perimeter looks a little bit more open. Sheboygan North still working the perimeter, now working inside. 3-point shot is no good by Luke Schmidt.
Donaldson does a nice job tracking down that rebound, and that's important too. When on a team that takes a lot of outside shots, you have to rebound and try and limit their second chance opportunities.
Will Dean fighting through a little bit of contact there in the paint to grab his second basket of the game. We are just under 3 minutes into the game. De Pere leads 6-5. No team able to gain a quick early advantage. been a relatively quick-flowing game as well. No fouls yet for either team, no timeouts taken. A little bit of a look inside there by Schenenberger. Sheboygan North still trying to work the perimeter. Three-point shot by Shibley is no good. He already had 5 points on the night, looking for 8 there. Fast break offense does not turn into immediate points, but almost immediate points as Tudis makes it good work of that second chance opportunity.
That was a nice trail, and you see that a lot, especially in the higher levels of college and NBA. That's taught, where you get that trail post to run the floor and kind of follow the action, following everything up, and they do a nice job of finding it there.
Sheboygan North bench trying to get a little bit of momentum going with some claps. Not really uncommon to try and counteract the home field advantage with a grand total of 0 Sheboygan North fans in attendance tonight. Basket by Chandler Fogel is good, and all of a sudden Sheboygan North has a 9-6 lead.
Yeah, that time Donaldson got caught on a screen a little late in rotation, and North, always been very strong fundamental program, is able to find him on an open cut, and those are 2-foot shots that are relatively easy for the Golden Raiders.
Tudis picks up a foul for Sheboygan North. Claiborne and Robinson sub into the game for North. It looks like Gaheen is into the game for the Redbirds, as well as Trevor Theato, a player that hasn't really seen too much action this season.
Oh, and they get a look to try and get it into Gaheen right off of that inbound, and it's deflected away by the newly checked-in Robinson.
Yeah, Gaheen has been a spark off the bench for this Redbirds offense throughout the season. Hasn't been able to crack the starting lineup a ton as a sophomore, but he's gotten some solid minutes in off the bench, and if he can bring something a little bit different to try and make the offense harmonize a little bit better.
Yeah, and that's been good for the Redbirds all year. Kinzinger's been very consistent as he comes up with a steal there, and so then it's kind of figuring out who's got a hot hand that they can fit in around him. And Gaheen's given them some great minutes off the bench. He's had a couple big games this year.
And of note for the Sheboygan North team, their leading scorer, Iggy Karkara, is not in the game, is not at the scorer's table right now. I don't know about his availability for tonight, but you'd imagine that you'd be starting the guy with 19 points a game. So that is potentially a storyline to look at going forward. They'll get Kinzinger for a backcourt violation there, a turnover for the Redbird team, and the Golden Raiders will have it at the midcourt.
There's light pressure, and sometimes, when you're trying to get into a set in a dead ball situation like that, and things don't happen as fast when there's pressure up top, it's tough on the ball handler, and that time Kinzinger put it off the back of his foot and turned it over as he comes up with another steal on the other end.
Stuff like that, doesn't really mark down on the stat sheet, but, it definitely gets marked in the film room. Defensive hustle plays like that, you can't score points if you don't have the ball. And props to Johnny Kinzinger for making those opportunities happen for the Redbirds.
And that's nothing new for the Kinzinger family. They've always played extremely hard on defense. And whether it's getting steals or deflections, it's just active hands, active energy. It makes it difficult on a defense.
Long two-point basket attempted by Kinzinger is no good. Robinson will grab the rebound for North. Long three-pointer from Schmidt is no good. This game remains at 9-6, just about a third of the way into this first half.
Couple buckets early, and then things slowed down a little bit.
Johnny Kinzinger has not scored points tonight. A little bit uncharacteristic of him, as that ball, they will say, will be off the home team.
Herman and Shinners now in for the Redbirds.
Shinners will check into the game for the Redbirds. Gabe Herman as well. So it looks like Coach Winchester using a pretty deep rotation of players. I think we're 8 players in already.
Some light pressure here by the Redbirds. A soft three-quarter court man-to-man.
In the paint, and Schenenberger was able to convert on that opportunity as Kinzinger looks to make something happen for the Birds. Schinner's a laser pass into Gaheen, and they will call a foul, it looks like, on Schenenberger.
Schenenberger is first. Team's third. Tunis returning.
Schenenberger will come out of the game for the Redbirds, and Max Tudis will check back into the game. Schenenberger vocal on his way out. It seems like someone didn't know a defensive assignment. Long three from Kinzinger is off the front of the rim. A little bit of an elbow lead there for Chandler Fogel. No contact. Everyone gave space. Robinson from the wing is good.
Well, and that'll draw the Redbird timeout, and we've seen that time and time again. Quick rotation from Sheboygan North. Robinson has his feet set. They teach that in their youth program, and he knocks in the three.
Yeah, you know, I don't know if he had taken a shot tonight. It seems like he was a little bit hesitant on a couple of prior possessions, but pulled the trigger quickly on that one, and it converted into three for the Golden Raiders.
And De Pere's been just a little, like a step slow in their defense. They're not awake yet in this. They've given Sheboygan North a couple opportunities with some blow-bys, or their rotation was really good early, and then it really just looks like a lack of focus right now, especially as the possession gets later. And North's been patient. Give them credit. They've worked for it, and they've got some good shots here.
Yeah, and these are things that just can't continue to happen. I understand that you haven't played a game in 6 days, but you still have practices, team activities in there. Your mind should be ready to go for the game, you know, no matter if it's been a day or a week since your last contest.
Pere content to get a set here. Trying to get Kinzinger coming back on the side, and that's going to be a turnover.
When you talked about a lack of focus on defense, that could go for offense a little bit too. Just a pass that was a little bit off the mark. You know, if that pass was on the mark, you definitely think that John Kinzinger could have turned that into an opportunity. But
well, we talked about that a lot back in college when I was playing. Is out of timeouts, especially when De Pere calls it, they're going to come out and they're trying to get a set. Now, they had Kinzinger off the ball that time. They wanted to get him a look, try and get him going. And Sheboygan North, we would switch up defenses. Sheboygan North did a good job pressuring there, because you could kind of take gambles because they know what they have in action that they want to try and get to. And as a defense, you want to try and prevent them from getting to it.
3-point attempt by Kirby Clayton Jr. is no good.
Looked like a little hook there.
Yeah. Someone wound up on the floor. And they're going to call a foul on Ben Vorpal, who recently checked into the game for Sheboygan North. De Pere's remained foul-less in this first half, Sheboygan North with 4. You'd think that with 10 minutes left in the half, a bonus appearance would be likely at some point. Kinzinger defended by Tudis. And a little inside action there by Gabe Herman, nothing, and Shinners from deep, no good. Good pass rotation by Sheboygan North off the deflection there. Open three-point look for, that was Shively, was no good. Second, third, fourth chance. Shively will take another look at it. That one no good as well. And the Redbirds finally grab a rebound from Herman, but it turns right back to Sheboygan North.
And that was another possession where De Pere's rotation is just late, and then they can't get box outs because they're out of position, and gives Sheboygan North second chance opportunities.
Robinson looking for a second three of the night, and it is good.
And that is going to draw another timeout from the Redbirds.
Timeout, De Pere. This is a 30-second timeout.
Just a reminder that you can tweet into the booth tonight using hashtag DPBB for a chance for your tweet to be the tweet of the game at the conclusion of the contest.
I see. It wouldn't be a Redbird broadcast if Brian Brick wasn't tuning in, so we appreciate the harassment from home. I know he's got it on, likely out in the garage. We miss having everybody here. It's been a unique year for sure, but we've enjoyed bringing you the games all season long, and nice to have some parents that are able to attend, and looking forward to the days when everyone can return. And certainly this time of year, once the year turns, a Friday night tradition.
De Pere will face a full court press here, down 11 coming out of this timeout. Maddox Shinner's looking inside. Shot opportunity against Robinson is good. If you look at it, the Redbirds have been most successful in the paint tonight. They haven't been getting a ton of perimeter looks, and that's credit to Sheboygan North. The scramble winds up going to Sheboygan North there. A little bit of a miscommunication gets sorted out as well between Robinson and Schenenberger. Robinson working inside the paint. He will draw 2 shots, and Shinner's not happy about that one.
That's a strong move from Robinson inside. Drop steps right into the chest of Shinner's. Pushes him back, and when Shinner's, you tried to wall up, go up straight, but when you get knocked off balance like that, you're not able to go up, and that hand comes down. It's an easy call for the official. Robinson unable to convert the shot, but does make the first free throw.
Schmidt now in for Sheboygan North.
Luke Schmidt checks back into the game for Sheboygan North. He will take the place of Chandler Fogel at the guard position. Johnny Kinzinger sensing something inside. Bails it out, and Jack Jorgensen will score his first points of the night.
Oh, what a great hesitation move there by Jorgensen. Right outside the paint, just that little change of pace is able to get the defender off balance and get himself to the rim.
Passes around the perimeter. Sheboygan North doing a good job of spacing the floor tonight. You rarely see 2 Golden Raiders on the same spot of real estate. As the top of the key 3 for Schmidt will fall.
You know, that was much better energy from the Redbirds on defense. I wonder if it's not more difficult to communicate with the masks on, because I can hear Coach Winchester yelling, but I can't really hear the players talking and communicating and calling the switches. And right now, with the way that they're trying to pressure defensively, there's a lot of communication that's required.
Kinzinger gets on the scoreboard. And an opportunity by Schmidt will be blocked cleanly by a couple of Redbirds down in the paint there. The feed inside to Jorgensen, and it looks like they will get a blocking foul. A little bit of theatrics there by Schenenberger. As a former theater kid, I'll give him half credit there.
They're going to call it on the floor. It'll be a baseline inbound for the Redbirds. A couple subs check in.
Max Donaldson comes back in, and Cal Matzke will see his first minutes of the night for the Redbirds. The home parent section finally trying to get a little bit of momentum going. The Redbirds down 9, but with an opportunity to make it only 6 here. Immediate set piece to Donaldson. He'll kick it out to Dean. No good. Rebound will be corralled by Max Tudis.
Little Hoyman, we appreciate you tuning in to the game. Get him a Twitter shout out. We appreciate everybody at home tweeting into the booth using hashtag DPBB. You could be the Exhaust Pros tweet of the game.
And, you know, you talk about the Redbirds needing a little something extra on defense. I think that might be why you see Cal Matzke coming in the game. He's not an extremely offensive-minded player, but he'll show up, he'll cover his guy, he'll maybe get a couple turnovers for you on the defensive side of things, and that's what this team needs right now.
Well, high-energy kid for sure, and Yep, and create a couple turnovers. DePere's got to get themselves some easy buckets.
I think it's easy when you're down 9 to get flustered, kind of run a run and gun kind of deal. And
well, there's one right there as Kinzinger breaks the pressure, gets inside the lane, collapses the defense, and kicks it out to Donaldson in the corner.
I think it's equally important, though, to kind of keep your heads down, say, the game's not ending in 6 minutes. It's only the half, and try and work your way methodically out instead of running and gunning and slinging and maybe committing a couple more turnovers. I think you just got to keep a level head here and know that you definitely can work your way out of this.
Yeah, and you got to remember not to press early, especially if the shots don't fall. They're going to come, not try and force things. Where it looked like Johnny got a little bit of that. He had the pull-up jumper from the right baseline that was a little short, and you just start to speed up, right? Because you want to make them, and sometimes you got to remember you're shooting to make it. You're trying to not miss at times, and that can be difficult on a scorer where you're used to seeing them go in.
DePere looked like they were still trying to get down to the baseline when the inbound pass was thrown. That pretty much negated any kind of press they had planned. A little bit of inside action there will result in 2 points for Max Tudis, and Will Dean not very happy with that. He thought that Tudis maybe took an extra step or led with the arm a little bit much, as Kinzinger will put 2 more in.
Back-to-back possessions where you don't need much for a play call when Johnny Kinzinger can get into the lane.
And, to have that confidence as the one kind of, I know he doesn't really, play a straight position, but to have that confidence as the one to kind of drive into the lane and know that you can either put it in or get 2 points, definitely a plus. And Claiborne with a 3 on the other side of the ball. I think they'll get Robinson here on a hack.
Well, he's got such a good feel as you watch as he gets into the lane on that possession, finishes at the rim with his left hand. And that's a really nice play out of the sophomore. And there's a reason he's a highly sought-after prospect.
A little bit of contact there. Donaldson comes down with the ball against Schmidt, and he'll go into the paint and put 2 in.
What a nice little flip over the front of the rim from Donaldson.
The Redbirds have done a really good job distributing the offense tonight. Kinzinger 4 points so far, Dean 4 points, Donaldson 5, and Shinners 4. Obviously, you'd hope to have a few more points on the board by this point. And a stoppage in play. It looks like they will get Max Donaldson on a push.
Looks like Shinners is going to come back into the game.
He is going to replace Matsky there.
Redbirds trying to get one more. Herman. You're seeing the replay of that flip over the front of the rim. The ball's back in with North now.
Hustle play by Kinzinger, and he will get violently fouled. It looks like they're not going to call a flagrant there. That is Luke Schmidt on the foul, and John Kinzinger will have 2 chances at the charity strike. Sheboygan North with 7 fouls now, so no matter what kind of foul it is from here on out, it will be a free throw opportunity for the Redbirds as Kinzinger puts his first one through.
We've got, we have to apologize to some of the Sheboygan North people. We appreciate you tweeting in on the pronunciations. We did talk to one of the assistant coaches for phonetic pronunciations, and we're going off of what he gave us. So we'll try and get them corrected here for the remainder of the broadcast.
It's a bit of still a perimeter offense for Sheboygan North. And a little bit of a pass that was off of Schmidt. It looked like that might have come from Shively. Donaldson will lose the handle on it, and Kinzinger will recover it for the Birds. DePere down 5 now, just under 4.5 left to play. And that pull-up jumper from the elbow is there for Johnny Kinzinger. A little bit of a press there. And that'll be a turnover there for, looks like, Herman. Donaldson looking inside, and a little bit of contact there, and the Golden Knights We'll grab that.
I tried to make the no-look pass, but it was unfortunately to a player wearing navy and not a player wearing white.
Kirby Claiborne Jr. thought better taking the three-point look. But Iggy Karkara coming off the bench. He's scoring 19 a game, and there's 3 right there. And they will get an and 1 there with Johnny Kinzinger. When you talk about guys that are able to step up and control the game, the first thought that comes to mind is John Kinzinger. 2 for 2 on his free throws tonight.
Yeah, right now the trouble is that's been De Pere's best offense, is just having Johnny take the ball up the floor and try and create something. You'd like to see a little bit more where you get him involved, maybe some stuff off the ball, get him something easy, because he's exerting a lot of energy on both ends of the floor right now.
A little bit of communication among the Sheboygan North players about their defensive assignments after the shot. It's a null point, though, as Kinzinger is up to 9 points on the night. Bit of press there. You see Herman going against Karkara there. Three-pointer by Schmidt is no good. Will Dean will dribble as he goes to the floor and avoid a turnover.
Redbirds trying to battle back in this one.
Kinzinger almost thought about taking that pull-up jumper from the elbow. Defense was a little too close for comfort there on that one.
When you talked about early how important it was for this Sheboygan North team to get off to a hot start, get out to an early lead. And this one's been extremely competitive.
Both teams campaigning that the ball will go to their side, and after some deliberation, they bring in a third voice on the officiating committee, and they will rule it white ball, much to the dismay of the back row of the Sheboygan North bench. They look very deflated after that one. A little bit of a protest there from Coach Worth, but the call stands. Under 3 minutes to go in this first half. De Pere is within 3, and Will Dean makes it a tie game.
Well, and that's a great set that this De Pere team has been running for a number of years on that sideline out of bounds, where you direct action to one side of the floor and then bring it back to the other for 3, and Dean knocks down the open jumper.
And they will call that blue ball, Navy, and yeah, I mean, when you're running that set piece, it definitely helps when you have guys that can shoot the 3 consistently. And when you have multiple of them like you have this year, it makes running that play all the easier. As both teams are now looking for some momentum on their side to take with them into halftime. And the call on the floor, I believe, is going to be on Jack Jorgensen here.
Got him with a reach, I think. But just the third foul against the Redbirds.
And a tipped pass there by Jorgensen will get back to him via Kinzinger, and Jorgensen will put that one in coast to coast. Timeout Sheboygan North.
The Redbirds claim the lead. And that was a nice move by Jorgensen as he got back into the middle of the floor. Not a common move that you see when you're coming down, get to the offhand and finish in the middle of the rim. And but something that you certainly see more commonly now. Growing up, we were always taught to use the backboard, and now that floater's really come in as a nice move into the game.
De Pere holds a 31-29 lead. Now as you look at that replay from that last 3 by Will Dean. Just under 2 minutes to go before halftime. Just a reminder to stay tuned for the Aurora Baycare halftime show. We're not coaches, but we can definitely take a stab at what kind of halftime adjustments are potentially needed on either side.
Speaking of coaching, one of the fascinating things that I never really thought about this, but talked a lot about bench strategy and how you would organize your bench and where you have your coaches and your players and guys coming off the bench. Typically, you'd have a spot reserved for them. In this setting, you've got 4 rows of 5 players. So it's kind of interesting to see the different strategies. De Pere looks like they've almost taken a strategy where they put everybody on the left-hand side, kind of have all the players down there. So when coach needs to talk to him, he can talk deep versus wide. But certainly something different this year, and just in the organization of the bench where each player is assigned a specific chair.
Robinson now. Nothing there. Backdoor cut to the basket, not available for Karkara. Laser pass inside from Karkara to Tudis is off the fingertip, and a costly turnover near halftime for Sheboygan North. Tudis definitely, showing token pressure, but you're already in the bonus and you don't want to give Kinzinger any more opportunities at the free throw line. Almost a turnover there, but they'll find Jorgensen open in the corner. 3 more for the junior.
Kinzinger's first step is just so quick. I mean, that looked like a clear Sheboygan North steal, and somehow he gets the ball back and then creates the play. And he's had deflections. He's had his hands on passes. He's come up with a bunch of steals tonight. He's all over the place.
And that's what's so rare at this level is that, you can have guys who can light it up offensively or they're stud defense players, but, it's rare that you get someone so complete as Johnny, and as a sophomore too, obviously, there's a reason that there are a number of Division I teams recruiting him.
Longtime scorebook keeper, Dr. Packer from Naples, Florida, enjoying the game. We welcome him to the broadcast.
Good defensive play there by Jorgensen. We talked about halfway through this first half about kind of a lack of energy and a lack of focus on defense. Well, it looks like the Redbirds have most definitely cleaned that up going into halftime. That 3 for Kinzinger doesn't fall. The Redbirds remain up by 5.
And that defensive pressure right now from the Redbirds is bothering Sheboygan North. Rotations have been much better in this last 5 minutes of the half.
Yeah, you could see that Chandler Fogel is wanting to shoot there, but, the defensive pressure, he couldn't even pass it. He had to hold it for a good 3-5 seconds, and when you're dealing with only 20 left, that's a considerable chunk of change. Robinson will look to make the last play of the half, no good. And Jorgensen will not throw up a last-second shot. Your score going into halftime, De Pere 34, Sheboygan North 29. Welcome to the Aurora Baycare halftime show. And after Sheboygan North had gotten out to, I believe, an 11-point lead early in the half, De Pere battles back to be up by 5 at the stoppage. Your leading scorer on the game is Johnny Kinzinger with 9. Sir Willie Robinson from Sheboygan North has 7 so far, as well as Will Dean. And what kind of halftime adjustments would you make?
Well, I think you gotta, if you're Sheboygan North, you gotta emphasize being patient, taking care of the ball. Too many turnovers is what got them into trouble. And then if you're the Redbirds, you just say you got to keep up the defensive pressure, right? We got to keep getting deflections, getting hands on balls, and that's what really got them back in the game. The offense was going to come. They weren't going to miss every shot, and they got Kinzinger going, and that helps a lot, right? And then he just started to create for everybody. He made the right pass, made the right play, and got some open looks for some of his teammates.
And there you have it. This has been the Aurora Baycare halftime show. We will see you on the other side of half. It is 34-29 Redbirds.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the hardest working dance team in the Fox River Classic Conference, your Redbird dance team.
And welcome back, everybody, to Fox River Classic Conference Basketball. I'm Will Soki along Mr. Cale Coleman tonight. Coming out of halftime, your DPR Redbirds lead the Sheboygan North Golden Raiders 34-29. And just a reminder that these very same Redbirds are going to be back in action tomorrow night, 5 o'clock, home game against Bayport. You can catch them right here, DPR Redbirds on YouTube. And a reminder to tweet into the booth using the hashtag DPBB for a chance for your tweet to be the Exhaust Pros tweet of the game following tonight's game. And just a look at the leading scores from the first half. For it appeared, Johnny Kinzinger, after a little bit of a slow start, led all scorers with 11. Will Dean and Jack Jorgensen each had 7. For Sheboygan North, Sir Willie Robinson led the team with 7 points, and Devin Sheebley was second on the team with 5 points. Just under a minute left to go. How do you expect the second half to start?
Well, I think we'll know pretty early, right? Talk about that first 4 minutes of the game. I think it's going to tell us a lot about what Sheboygan North is going to do in the second half. They have to come out the same way that they did to start the game. They had a nice break here to kind of try and fix some of the momentum that the Redbirds had heading into halftime. And I got to think their ability to put points on the board in that first little bit of the second half will be a very strong indicator of what we can expect.
And Iggy Karkara, the guard number 3, was scoring 19 points a game for Sheboygan North coming into this game. He did not see action until the latter part of the first half. He has 3 points so far tonight, so he could potentially be a spark plug for an offense that stagnated a little bit at the end of the first half. Both teams getting set here for the second half inbound.
Now, I don't even know. Is it always, does it go to alternate possession, or is it always that the home team would start with the ball at the start of the second half? I see the possession arrow is in favor of the Redbirds, but does it matter?
That's just something I don't think I've paid close enough attention to. I
haven't either, yeah.
I think this is my 5th game on the season, and I just never really thought to look at. Okay, so the possession arrow just changed, so
right. But I guess my question was, does it like how it ends in the first half even matter?
I wish I was a member of the WIA, confraternity, whatever, but I'm not. I would guess it doesn't matter. Will Dean starting the half off quickly for DePere with a nice basket. Sheboygan North still trying to work around the perimeter. A little bit of a work inside to Tudis. Nothing going against Will Dean. You see an off-ball screen there targeting Max Tudis. The ball did not go to him, but be interesting to see what kind of different offensive strategies Sheboygan North tries. The look inside to Tudis. Still straight up by Dean, and Dean keeps his feet in there and will force a turnover.
Well, and we saw that patience that we saw Sheboygan North come out with to start the game as Kinzinger slides his way in. And that's the advantage of getting him off the ball. When he's not having to be the primary ball handler, you can get that rotation. The defense has to collapse, and then he's able to find holes like that much easier.
And you can see that Sheboygan North worked it inside to Max Tudis a couple times that last possession. He didn't feel confident enough playing against Will Dean to take a post look. I think there's been at least one block, maybe a couple by the Redbirds tonight in the paint. So there's definitely a well-founded fear there, as Sheebley looks to make something happen against Shinners. Instead, it'll be Schoenberger. Shot is no good. And the post look will not turn into an and one for Chandler Fogel. And Will Dean will pick up his first foul of the night. Chandler Fogel has 2 points tonight. He'll look to extend that to up to 4 points, as his first shot from the charity stripe is good. The gap sits at 8 right now, and if you talk about winning, halves of halves or quarters of halves, De Pere is still up 3.
Well, especially in the college game where you have the media timeouts. Oh, look at that. Dunk from Shinners. What a play. And you do. You look at that, absolutely. They break a half into 4 quarters, and you want to win every battle.
De Pere's doubled their lead since halftime. Now it sits at 10. Step back is no good. That was Devin Sheebley. Wide open Jorgensen in the corner. No good. Rebound will go to Tudis.
Kinzinger was able to collapse the defense again. They cannot keep him out of the lane right now. And that's really what's got De Pere back in this game.
Sir Willie Robinson checks in. He'll sub in at the next stoppage of play for Sheboygan North. He's their leading scorer so far this game. As the Redbirds still working their starting lineup here, and Fogel almost loses the handle on it, gets it back. And he finally will lose the handle on it. Nice defensive work there by Johnny Kinzinger, who will not get a shooting foul.
Got away with one there as we get a replay of the dunk by Shinners. Excitement from Kinzinger.
Yeah, you talk about Max Huddleston ripping the backboard down. I think that was about a half decade ago. Not quite to that level, but still definitely something you see only once in a blue moon around here.
Shinners there gets himself another nice bucket on the inbound, having a good start to the second half.
De Pere up 12 now, and if you're Sheboygan North, this game is starting to slip away from you as Robinson brings the gap back down to 12, but unless you try and manufacture some timeouts, you don't have a huge break to try and recollect your troops, as Kinzinger will put 2 more off the rim there. It's going to be crucial for Sheboygan North to start getting defensive stops and start getting open looks like that, and to not only get the looks, but to convert on the looks, as an and one will be prescribed to Devin Sheebley.
Well, those will help get you back in the game. If you can convert the 3-point play, you got the clock stopped here. A couple subs in for the Redbirds.
Looks like Noah Gaheen is in.
Gabe Herman also going to check into the game.
Sheboygan North will have a substitute in as well. That is Kirby Claiborne Jr. He'll come in for Luke Schmidt at the guard position. Sheebley at the line to complete the 3-point play. The shot is up, and it is no good. Rebound will go to Herman. A little bit of a screen play there by Gaheen, unable to make anything come of it. He will find himself open in the corner, though. 3-point shot is no good, and Kinzinger will work that pivot foot and complete the rebound basket combo.
And that was a great, strong take from the left side of the rim for Kinzinger that time. Looked like he finished through a little contact on the arm, but wasn't enough to hold him down. As he takes a look at that set arm.
Ben Vorpal comes into the game for Sheboygan North, replacing Sheebley. Herman taking a little bit of a look inside, loses the handle on it, and that'll be a turnover. Gaheen going up against Robinson.
North basket, Sir Willie Robinson.
And Robinson is into double digits for the evening, and a timeout called by De Pere. 44-36 Redbirds, 13 minutes even left to play in this second half here. Sheboygan North has started to show a little bit of tenacity.
Yeah, that was something they were going to have to do to create some easy baskets there for Big Willie running down the floor. And Sheboygan North doing everything they can to stick around in this. I think De Pere's played about as well as they can right now to start this second half. And you have to weather the storm because basketball is a game of runs, and North will inevitably make theirs, I'm sure. If they can get going, we know they have the ability to knock down outside shots quickly.
The Redbirds will look to regroup here. Still up by 8. It's not like you're in immediate panic mode at all. But Sheboygan North has started to get a couple of defensive stops, and they converted on a fast break opportunity the last time. They've put this De Pere team on notice. Kinzinger able to keep the handle on it. He'll dump it off to Herman. And Will Dean will take it inside, no good. Rebound will be Tudis.
Right. Dean tried to wrap it around the rim there and reach out the long arm, couldn't get it up over the rim.
And Schoenberger thought about taking the three-point shot. The back row of the bench thought he was going to take it. He thought better of it. And the possession continues for Sheboygan North. Robinson didn't like his chances against Gaheen there after hauling in a little bit of a tall pass. He used the screen there. De Pere manages to navigate it well, and Jack Jorgensen will find himself with 2 easy points.
And that's the defensive pressure that we did not see midway through the first half. De Pere getting out in the passing lanes, and they're making everything tough right now.
You know, and when your post guys even get into the post and then they don't really look for the basket, they look to dump it out just because the post defense is so solid. I think that's a credit to this De Pere defense, and they'll ring Johnny Kinzinger up. I believe that's his second of the night.
Well, you have them running offense 30 feet from the basket, and they did get the ball into Robinson, and they've had to work so hard. He gets it, catches it 3 feet away, and he backs it right out. He's tired. He's out of position with the pass, and so then they have to reset, and they're back to run, trying to score 30 feet from the goal.
Robinson will actually come out of the game. It looks like Schmidt came back in, and they will grab Will Dean for a shooting foul there on Max Tudis. And Tudis actually missed, I believe, one of his 2 free throws earlier this game. He'll be going for his 5th point of the night right here. Taking a little bit of time to get set, get ready. And the first shot is up, and it is good.
Jorgensen returning for the Redbirds.
Jack Jorgensen will take the place of Will Dean on the court as Tudis looks to convert both of his opportunities here at the free throw line. The second shot is up, and it is good as well. Gap is 8 again. Jorgensen electing not to take the corner 3. Herman will get his 3 blocked. He'll find Kinzinger on the wing, though, and that Kinzinger shot will be off the rim as well. Rebound, Ben Vorpal.
That's the quick corner 3. That is as patented Sheboygan North basketball as you'll see. They push the ball up the floor and get to those corners. And they don't miss many of them. That one rolled out.
Yeah, and definitely you could tell he practiced that one, but just a little bit too much spin for that one. Claiborne looking for an outlet. They will try the set piece to Tudis. And despite the bench's call for an and one, no foul called. You know, and Johnny Kinzinger just keeps collapsing the defense into the paint. He finds guys open on the corner, and even if they don't elect to take the shot, the look is still there.
Well, it just creates chaos for trying to recover, and Sheboygan North was fortunately able to. I mean, that was an unlucky bounce if you're a North fan. Fortunate if you're a De Pere fan, because North did everything right to get back into that play. But yeah, to your point, they got to figure something out, because right now Kinzinger is just picking them apart.
A little bit of an arm lead there for Claiborne as Tudis will get blocked off the backboard. Claiborne will put it in there, and a timeout will be called by Sheboygan North. Just a reminder to tweet into the booth using the hashtag DPBB for a chance for your tweet to be featured as the Exhaust Pros tweet of the game following the conclusion of the contest. The gap is at 6. Sheboygan North has pretty much erased any gains De Pere has made since half and has a little bit of momentum on their side there with that Claiborne basket.
Well, and that was a great timeout there from Coach Winchester. And you do get an extra timeout this year. Part of the mask mandate, they awarded all the teams a 6th timeout. Not really sure if that helps the breathing much, but it does allow a short break and Coach Winchester an extra opportunity to settle his team down, get them back focused, and I think that was a timely call right there. I'd expect to see him come into some kind of set here. There's a handful of times coming out of the timeout. He's taking Kinzinger off the point, but he's going to have him bring it up this one.
Shinners will corral it and pass it off before he gets out of bounds. Looking like a little bit of a 3-man weave, and Tudis will score 2 more. Tudis has really been a light in the second half for Sheboygan North. He's making plays on defense, definitely scored his share of points so far. He's definitely someone that they'll continue to lean on as we get to just about the halfway point of the second half. Herman trying for the dish inside to Jorgensen. I don't think Jack was expecting that one. And a little bit of a salvaged possession there. Claiborne able to keep possession of the ball. Over to Tudis. And Shebley trying to find any look available. He'll finally feed it inside to Schmidt. He'll go backwards, and it's a 2-point game.
That was a great move by Schmidt. He got Herman off balance, turned back over the left shoulder. Got himself an easy bucket. Coach Winchester going to burn another timeout now. Just minutes apart from the previous one. It's a 2-point game here at De Pere High School.
Basketball is a game of runs, and North will inevitably make theirs, and we are smack dab in the middle of it right now. The Redbirds in a little bit of a scoring drought here. They've only put up, I think, 4 points in the last 2 to 3 minutes of game clock. Coach Winchester trying to rally his troops. He's at the whiteboard right now.
Well, they clearly had a play call coming out of that last timeout, and there's nothing more frustrating as a coach when you draw something up. He's got Johnny bringing the ball up the floor. He makes one pass, and they end up in a turnover. And then North scores, forces a timeout, comes back, gets the turnover, and gets an easy bucket on the other end.
I will say that, Sheboygan North has been up by 11 in this game. De Pere's been up by, I think, a dozen in this game. But in the end, it all kind of evens out, and it goes back to what we kind of said in the pregame that, people expected this to be a very even game. Despite Sheboygan North's youth in the season, they've played well so far, and they've matched up well with De Pere.
And they've done all the things that we talked about to stay in this and ways that they would need to be successful. I mean, they got 46 right now. They've had a couple games where they haven't scored much more than that for its entirety. So they've put the ball in the basket and give them credit.
De Pere looking for Kinzinger inside, and he will get a foul drawn on him. They will ring up Luke Schmidt for that one. Sheboygan North's first foul of the half.
Well, and there's the set right there, right? You want to try and get your best player into an easy position for a bucket, and they did that. And Johnny's able to draw the foul. Oh, we got a...
And it looks like we might have a body fluid situation on the court.
Sweat down on the court. That wiped up. Safety first. Should, of course, thank all of the support staff tonight, janitorial staff, athletic training, athletic director, dance team for a great performance at halftime, their first appearance of the year.
Definitely. You hear the North bench becoming a little bit more vocal right now, trying to generate some extra momentum as Jorgensen finally finds an outlet in Shinners. Dean will look inside and draw 2 shots at the free throw line.
A good spin move there by Dean.
And Schoenberger looking for a little bit of clarification as to why he was called on that one. I think it was given there. And he will retreat to the backcourt for some coaching.
It looked like Dean got himself a little off balance, but it was Schoenberger who he gambled a little bit when it looked like Dean may make a turnover and then was never able to recover.
Dean will go 1 for 2 at the free throw line. A little bit of pressure there by Jack Jorgensen, the Redbirds with 4 fouls so far this half, up by 3. Sir Willie Robinson trying to make some contact in the paint with Maddox Shinners. He will get the ball after an off-ball screen. Chandler Fogel thought better, trying to work inside. Robinson again after the screen by Schoenberger. And that shot blocked by Will Dean. I did not see which one of the North players that was. I think that was Sheebley there. As Kinzinger will draw a foul before the shot.
Yeah, it was Sheebley. Got himself into the lane, but instead of trying to finish oversized with the offhand, he brings the ball back into his right hand, more comfortable, stronger hand, but exposes it into the defense. He can't protect it from that position, and Dean's able to get the block. And we're heading the other way. It's Redbird basketball.
And some vocal coaching from the other side of the court by Coach Worth before this inbound play.
It's a foul. I think he was arguing for a foul correction. They had reported it on the scores table of the wrong player. Ends up being on Schmidt.
Turnover on the inbound play by DePere. Kinzinger not able to grab the steal there, but you see DePere trying to trap then. That'll leave Robinson open. That 3 doesn't fall. Rebound will go to the Redbirds.
That was a great box out there by Gabe Herman.
Kinzinger will look to make something happen. Still only up 3 for the Redbirds. Will Dean will dish it out to Jorgensen at the top of the key. That one will be off the front of the rim.
Both teams clearing the glass, limiting second chance opportunities.
And you see North start to use more off-ball screens to try and free up Robinson, try and maybe free up Schoenberger. They haven't had a ton of success with them, but, you know, if you can burn, 20, 30 seconds of possession, putting the ball in the basket, of course, that one ends in a turnover and in the hands of John Kinzinger. Shinners looking to set a little bit of a screen, pull-up jumper, no good, and Will Dean making the hustle play.
Dean
there.
Stays active on the offensive glass. He got a hand on it. It wasn't enough to corral it, but good activity there.
Matsky and Donaldson in for DePere, Claiborne and Tudis in for Sheboygan North. A little bit of pressure from Gabe Herman, not too much though. He will switch on to Claiborne after the screen, and they will ring him up for a foul.
Yeah, they're going to get the sophomore trying to fight through the screen. Good energy from Gabe. Just a little bit too much in the official's eyes.
Yeah, Sheboygan North on this possession doing a very good job of spacing the floor. Making sure that there's always at least an opportunity to pass the ball. It hasn't resulted in points yet. Robinson not willing to try the inside route against Cal Matsky.
I'd love to see Robinson. He gets in there and just hit that little baby hook with the left hand. He's got his feet set. He's got the size to elevate up over the defense.
He just seems unwilling to do it for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's the second time he's got himself in really good position and just backed it out.
Schoenberger will maybe go up, maybe not, and he's not happy after that one.
Well, that ball got knocked away. He lost it on the way up, and on the way back down, it kind of fell back into his arm and rolled it out of bounds.
Herman will go out of the game. Johnny Kinzinger looking to make something happen for De Pere. De Pere up by 3, 49-46, 5 minutes to go in the game. Neither team has scored for a pretty substantial period of time. It's been a while since either team has gotten the ball in the basket. A good defensive battle as Kinzinger will try and change that, and he does.
The sophomore nails one from deep. And now the momentum starting to swing back the Redbirds' way.
It's going to be critical here to get a defensive stop for De Pere if they want to keep this momentum. You know, even a 2-point basket brings it back to 4, and that's enough to make you a little bit uneasy. And they will ring Maddox Shinners up for a foul here, not yet in the bonus for De Pere, but inching closer and closer.
Yeah, gave him a little shove, a little bit too much down there right in front of the official. That's an easy call.
Robinson and Schonenberger out for Sheboygan North, and Sheboygan North will take a full timeout.
We appreciate the support on Twitter. We see your tweets. Remember, you can tweet us at the Nicolay Bank broadcast booth using the hashtag DPBB. We appreciate it. Upcoming action tomorrow afternoon, or early evening rather. 6 o'clock start against the Pirates, I believe, for the Varsity.
5 or 6, I think, yeah. To look at your Auto House leading scores so far in this game, the Redbirds are led by sophomore Johnny Kinzinger with 18. Senior Maddox Shinners has 10. Sheboygan North has a tie at the top of their scoring pylon. Robinson and Tudis have 10 points apiece. The gap is 6 with just under 4.5 to go. Both coaches kind of taking a chance to lay out their team's plans for the last portion of the game. I imagine if the game swings a certain way, we might see a barrage of fouls towards the end and the opportunity for some more strategy. But if it doesn't break that way, this might be one of your last chances to set yourself up. The immediate set play to Schmidt is no good. Schmidt's had a couple of three-pointers, just a little bit off the mark tonight.
A nice set out of Sheboygan North. A little distraction with the curl screen and then try and get the three-pointer behind it. Just couldn't get the shot to fall.
Kinzinger works his way out of a trap. Will Dean will step back for 3. It is no good. Rebound Shinners. Kinzinger will work inside, and Dean will take a second chance at putting the ball in the basket. That one is good.
Coach Winchester calls a quick 30 to follow it, but Dean able to get his feet set that time and knocks in the 3 from the right wing.
And Maddox Shinners doing his job there, staying in position, getting that rebound there, and enabling that possession to be extended. Those are the kind of things that can make a break or game when it's this close, this late.
And Coach Worth is going to go to the bench and put Robinson and Fogel right back in after that break. Some of the production from the North roster getting themselves back in.
Yeah, I definitely thought that we would have seen at least a little bit more of Iggy Karkara tonight, but the offense has flowed just fine without him, and I guess at a certain point you don't want to disrupt that chemistry that you have. As it looks like Gabe Herman will go into the game for the Redbirds at the next stoppage of play. Coach Winchester just a little bit tardy in getting him to the scorer's table. Wide open 3 in the corner for Schmidt. That one off the mark as well. A fight for the rebound goes to Fogel. Robinson will not take the three from the top of the key. Much more of a physical game, and that pass just thrown away by Devin Sheebley. Coach Worth definitely not happy about that turnover. Max Donaldson out of the game, gave Herman in for the Redbirds, and the Golden Raiders will set up, I believe, with Max Tudis on the press.
Well, and that's one of the strengths of the Redbirds is getting that pressure, getting the 6'2" forward away from the basket, and a little panicked up top. Doesn't see that his teammate's going to make the back cut and throws it right into the Raider bench.
Jorgensen will drive inside and two dunks in the same game for your De Pere Redbirds.
He cocked that back a little bit too.
And when you talk about just back-to-back firepower there, Sheebley redeeming himself from the last possession.
North able to respond with a three to the big dunk.
De Pere's widened the gap to 8. Full timeout taken here. A reminder to tweet into the booth. Time is waning down to be the Exhaust Pros tweet of the game. As you look at that replay there, the electric play there.
Jack Jorgensen comes down the lane, cocks it back, and dunks over Robinson. I don't think Robinson was ready for that one. He wasn't expecting the 6'2" junior to go up and make a play quite like that.
As the buzzer signals the end of this timeout, De Pere will have the ball at the opposite end of the court to break this possession.
But again, as you watch that play, that replay again, what really creates it is Kinzinger gets into the paint again, collapses the defense, the ball gets swung out, and now North's in a recovery situation, and it just puts their players in a really compromised spot. But that's the impact that Kinzinger has on a game, and I mean, he's a fun guy to play with, right? Jorgensen's got a clear lane down the path. He's got his feet right. He can go up and make a play where he gets the hammer on someone.
And I mean, you look at the stat sheet. Just on paper, Kinzinger is at 6 assists a game, but that that doesn't count even close to all of those situations where maybe 2 or 3 passes later, someone puts the ball in because he collapsed the lane.
I've said that for years. The hockey assist, it really should be a basketball statistic where they give 2 passes in hockey. A lot of times that it's not the direct assist, but the play that set up the ability to make an assist.
Will Dean will look inside. Herman able to corral that in. It looked like Dean was going to drive the lane. It looks like his man kind of jumped and missed at the swat on the pass there, unable to convert on that look.
I thought he may have got away with a bit of a travel underneath.
I'm not going to say anything.
Kinzinger going to pull it out, content to run clock. He's got Robinson on him.
I mean, when you're up by 8 and there's 2 minutes left,
I think North has to make a little bit of a change and get more of a perimeter player out on the quickness of Kinzinger.
I mean, and don't get me wrong, Willie Robinson has shown himself to be a standout player tonight, but yeah, I just don't think that, it's hard to find a good matchup against Kinzinger, and he's given it his all right now.
Oh, I'm sure they're trying to put a little bit more strength on Kinzinger, just the smaller frame of the sophomore, but I don't blame them. They got to find some way to try and keep him out of the lane.
Chandler Fogle a little overzealous on defense there. Sheboygan North up to 4 fouls at 8 points. I don't know if this is kind of a rapid foul situation there.
Well, I think you got to get a couple to try and get a little bit closer to the bonus. But you can go for steals. You can stay aggressive. You can do some traps like you see there. But at some point, you're going to have to take 1 or 2 here.
Schoenberger now on Kinzinger. And that is Tudis there. Game clock is down to $1:15, and the Redbirds have done a fantastic job extending this possession. I remember we were talking about this at the 2-minute mark. You talk about chewing clock. This one possession has almost put it out for the Redbirds. As long as they are able to keep rotating the ball around the perimeter, if 2 guys on one player, there's someone else open, and as long as the Redbirds can find that open guy, clock is down to a minute now. It's hard to make up 8 points in a minute.
Well, and I wouldn't call this a stall by any means. I mean, they're still looking to attack. They're looking to stay aggressive. They're being patient. But as long as De Pere has the ball, Sheboygan North has no ability to score. So you could take the easy layups, but it does, anytime you get that North gets the ball back, you give them an opportunity for three, opportunity to cut the lead. And so just taking care of it now is extremely important, but not getting lazy and in that stall mode. Stay aggressive.
Tudis going boom or bust there and busted on that press and trapped there. Timeout by Coach Winchester. I'm sure not the ideal situation, but he got that in the nick of time before Gabe Herman hit the floor.
No, and I think it was a good play by Herman to split the double team, but great timeout call. And Twitter's getting Jorgensen some love.
He's
requesting a Sports Center top 10 nomination, but no, I mean a good timeout. We'll show it to you one more time for those of you who may have missed it. He goes up off the left foot, cocks it back, and hammers it home. Sends the De Pere bench into a frenzy. That's fun. Mr. Rob Guyette doing a great job on the production tonight.
And I think that, one of the other things in this fun COVID time that we're all in is that, on the bench, not only are you supposed to be paying attention to the game, but at times you're also the de facto student section. All of a sudden you're also the energy that your five guys on the court need to find. And, it's harder to do with your bench being all spaced out, but anything you can do to contribute to the cause in the absence of some of the more vocal student section leaders like we saw last year in De Pere.
Yeah, and I mean, this whole thing is great, right? I can't imagine being a 15, 16, 17-year-old kid and not being at school and not being around my buddies and my teammates and losing opportunities to go out and compete in the fall sports. So it's really nice to see high school basketball back. And doing it as safely as possible, but allowing these kids an opportunity that really is impactful for a lifetime. A lot of these skills, right, of being on a team and having a role and taking coaching helps shape them for their future. And so I'm just really happy that we were able to make this work for those players out there tonight.
Absolutely, and that, De Pere was able to get most of a full season in too, as compared to Sheboygan North, only in their 5th game tonight. Dean will convert both of his opportunities from the free throw line. Gap is 10, 40.5 seconds to play. And they will let Schonenberger get into the lane for 2. And they will not call a foul. They will call a foul on Jack Jorgensen a little bit. Actually, they will call the foul on Schmidt there. Jorgensen was leading with the forearm a little bit there. I didn't think it was enough for a foul, but evidently Schmidt.
And the officials are, in this situation, give a benefit of the doubt to the offensive player because they know the defense is trying to foul. Down 8 and down 9 here with 22 seconds left. It's going to be a tough task for Sheboygan North to come back at this point. But you're typically, it's got to be pretty egregious if you're going to see an offensive foul called in that situation.
Jorgensen puts 2 more on the board to get the gap back to 10. Schonenberger, hand off there, and that pass intercepted by Dean, right back into the hands of Tudis. Schonenberger up and good.
Hangs and hits from the right baseline. Nice move there.
As Will Dean will get fouled with 3 seconds to go. I believe that is number 4 on Devin Sheebley for the evening. That is his 3rd.
Dean at the line in the bonus.
Again, we appreciate everybody at home tweeting into the Nicolay Bank broadcast booth.
Will Dean, all reliable at the free throw line. He's been, so clutch converting on all of his opportunities. Here's the clock winds down. He will put one more in. 63-53 And Schonenberger will not attempt a heave. Your final score, the De Pere Redbirds 63, the Sheboygan North Golden Raiders 53. The Redbirds advance to 11-3 on the season. Sheboygan North drops to 2-3.
Yeah, and if you remember, Sheboygan North cut the lead to 2. It was 48-46. And Sheboygan North only able to score 7 points the rest of the way. And that was the difference. And Coach Winchester called basically back-to-back timeouts, got his team back under control, stopped the run of Sheboygan North, and then De Pere was able to extend this out and wind up with the 10-point victory.
And, it was definitely a team effort as well. Maddox Shinner's on the boards, Will Dean at the free throw line, Johnny Kinzinger creating opportunities. I think, everything that you kind of hoped for out of this Redbird team in the closing moments of the game happened. All you ask for is, for your guys to play their best games. And I think that the Redbirds definitely stepped it up when they needed to the most.
Yeah, and that dunk was a play of the game. I mean, that really put it away. I think that was, as Wayne Larrabee would call it, his dagger for the Redbirds tonight. And a good game. It was competitive most of the way. I thought both teams, gave themselves a chance in it. And at the end of the day, it was just a little bit too much firepower from the Redbirds. They're able to pull away with victory.
Absolutely. Do we have a tweet of the game for tonight?
Yeah, we'll put producer Guyette in charge of selecting a Exhaust Pros tweet of the game. Again, we appreciate everybody tuning in, participating. You certainly make the broadcast more fun.
Definitely. And, definitely a solid win for De Pere. I think, these conference games within the last month of the season are definitely what you need heading into the playoffs.
We got it. It's your boy McLovin is our Exhaust Pros tweet of the game. Thanks you to all our sponsors tonight. But he was impressed with the dunk out of Jorgensen, giving him a Sports Center Top 10 nomination. I think it's worthy.
Absolutely, and we just want to thank the Unified School District of De Pere, the Basketball Booster Club, producer Guyette, everyone who makes this a go, athletic director Bizek as well. Everyone who makes this a go, we want to thank them for allowing us to continue to bring you guys all these actions, and we definitely do appreciate all the support from home. Any final observations from tonight?
No, Redbird fans, remember, join us tomorrow right here from De Pere High School. It'll be a little bit earlier tip, but the Bayport Pirates come into town for another FRCC matchup. So grab some popcorn, tune in. Nothing better to do on a cold Saturday afternoon, and then Sunday the Packer game. So we got a weekend for you.
Your favorite announcers, Brett Bizek and Greg Binns, on the call tomorrow afternoon, I believe 5 o'clock tip against the Bayport Pirates. That just about does it for tonight's game. For Cale Coleman, I am Will Soki. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night and stay safe.